So guys, we are here today for the European Grand Prix for the Slovenian Sonic HD's F1 2009 career, and as you saw by that intro, I will be a guest commentator for this episode, as unfortunately Benny's voice really isn't up for the job. So I'll do the best I can. Thanks Benny for the intro. Nice intro there, just to introduce me. And yeah, we're just about to get into qualifying now for the European Grand Prix, obviously the Valencia Street Circuit in this 2009 season. Obviously, last race in Hungary, absolutely horrible Grand Prix, that one. Finishing down in 14th or 15th in the end, I think. And currently on a pole position lap now, or what could be a pole position lap, we're not too sure yet. I mean, we have still pole position quite a few times in this, definitely the season of career mode. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit tougher around the Valencia Street Circuit, because as you can see, look at the rain pouring down. I know the rain didn't have too much of an effect on this game, obviously, because it's only F1 2009, and the handling's not that realistic. But still, it's going to be a tough challenge, and hopefully Benny will be able to conquer that throughout this lap. But, you know, obviously the Valencia Street Circuit, not on the Formula 1 calendar anymore. It was only on the calendar, I believe, for only about 5 years in total, or 5 seasons. And the last Grand Prix was in 2012. And I've got to say, that Grand Prix was incredibly exciting. Obviously, loads of retirements out in front, and I think that's where Roman Grosjean really should have picked up his first victory of the season. But yeah, just a shame that, well, not really a shame that it's gone off the calendar, but there was potential for good races, obviously, we saw in 2012, but that was just a crazy year in general. And I'd probably say, actually, 2012 was probably my favourite Formula 1 season to date, and in fact, Valencia 2012 was probably one of my favourite races in that season. But as you can see now, going into this qualifying session, or going back onto the qualifying session, we can see Barrichello has put in a time of 1 minute 42.3, so the Brawn's really putting in, actually, I'd say that's a very competitive lap time, considering that in the dry, the drivers tend to set, from what I can remember, around like the high 30s. So really, not a bad time for Barrichello whatsoever, quite competitive. As you can see, Benny's sliding through these corners now, but I don't think it's going to affect him too much. Which you've got to see now, we've got to get, I think the determining factor on this lap will be the last corner, because that's where you can really mess up your lap. But I think Benny's conquered it quite well here. In fact, yeah, braking nice and early, getting a good exit onto the pit straight. Will this be pole position? It looks like it might be. Yes, the 1 minute 39.7. But however, it's only second for Benny. So I'm actually very surprised. It's second for us today. Our teammate Mark Webber with a 1 minute 39.1. I am so surprised at how quick the times are in the wet on this game. I mean, that's just unthinkable. That's unbelievable. But anyway, it looks as if it's quite cloudy, quite overcast. I don't think there's any rain as of yet. The track might be slightly damp. We're going to have to wait and see. In fact, look at that. The weather forecast, 90% chance of rain. So maybe we'll see some rain later on in the Grand Prix. So we could be in for a crack of a race today. But as you can see, going through the grid now, Webber, Dark Sonic, Barrichello, Hamilton, Button, Alonso in 6th, Massa 7th, Trulli in 8th, Rosberg 9th, Timo Glock in 10th, with Raikkonen 11th, Heidfeld 12th, Kovalainen 13th, Bourdais 14th, Kubica went down in 15th, with Fisichella 16th, Buemi 17th, Nakajima 18th, Satil in 19th, and Nelson Piquet rounding off the grid in 20th. So as you can see now, the lights are building up now, illuminated by the drivers with 5 red lights, and we are way here for the European Grand Prix. Lights on for an absolute eternity there, but like most races, we've gotten a pretty poor start here. Rubens Barrichello has already jumped us. We're going to look to get him back going down into turn 1 now, but Barrichello seems to have defended quite well, actually. Something I noticed with the AI on this game is they do actually break quite late, like in comparison to Co-Master's more recent titles such as F1 2014 and F1 2013. They seem to break very early at the start, but actually on this game, they're very, very quick and quite competitive, and they really do give you quite a challenge especially, so maybe something for Co-Master to work on for the next game if they do even in fact keep the license. But anyway, back into this race now, we've just cemented that 3rd position. Barrichello Webber appears to be escaping, but what we've got to do now is just not do anything stupid. And I can pick up on the fact now that there is actually rain. I didn't notice that at the start, but yeah, there is rain once again, a weather-affected weekend, rain-affected race once again. As you can see ahead, the spray on this game is actually, it's unbelievable. Oh my goodness me. But as you can see, almost hitting is the back of Barrichello there. He's actually looking, who's bearing down on Mark Webber. In fact, he's going to go round the outside of turn 1 here. It's very difficult to see with all this spray, so let's see what happens as we now approach turn 1. In fact, Benny might even go for the move down the inside, but it's just too far back. And Barrichello braking a little bit early, thinking sensibly. As you can see on the mini-map, Button's actually quite a way back, so it could be a top 3 battle here, just a battle for the top 3 positions between Mark Webber, Rubens Barrichello, and Benny. Well, I do believe from the start we saw that Benny was going to be doing a 2-stop in this Grand Prix today. So perhaps not necessarily more because of the wet conditions, but we're going to actually have to wait and see. Let's just see how everything pans out. But once again, it's proven to be quite tricky to overtake around this track. Obviously, it has been in the past. 2012 was just a crazy race, as I mentioned earlier, but again on this game, it does look as if Barrichello's in fact getting the slipstream on Mark Webber. So let's see whether Barrichello can do anything about that. Again, very difficult to see with the spray. It seems like both cars side by side. Benny can overtake the pair of them here, going down into the chicane now. In fact, Barrichello's there. Benny hits Barrichello ever so slightly. Can Barrichello hang it around the outside? Webber and Barrichello sliding through the corners there. These wet conditions proving very challenging, like I mentioned, obviously in qualifying, you know, proving to be exactly the same in the Grand Prix as well, and so nearly ended in tears there for both drivers. But once again, we can't see absolutely anything. And there's Barrichello. Oh my goodness me, we've got a white and black flag, and both cars have ran wide now. This is absolutely crazy. I'm not really sure whether that was Benny's fault, but it does look as if he is waiting for Barrichello and Mark Webber, although I think he's gone up to speed now. I think he was going to let them through, but it does look as if we are speeding back up again. But I don't even know what happened there. Just the slipstream was so strong, and you know, with the spray we just could not see Barrichello in front. So really, we were kind of missighted there, and in the end had to crash into them. Although I'd say mainly Barrichello actually hit off Webber there. So I think Barrichello actually merged ahead of Webber. In fact, no, a couple of cars are pitting actually. I think Barrichello is actually dived up into the pit lane. In fact, no, here we go. We have let Rubens Barrichello and Mark Webber through by the looks of it. Sorry, I'm getting really confused here with the spray and everything. The spray is just absolutely crazy. But anyway, we can see Felipe Massa now moving up into third position. Fernando Alonso now in 5th place. So again, that was a really crazy lap there. So we just got to work and trying to catch up with those guys. Although it does appear as if they have escaped now. Felipe Massa, Rubens Barrichello and Mark Webber all off into the distance now. And now we have Fernando Alonso to contend with in the Renault. So let's see how we can do here. No, we've actually outbroken ourselves here. And will Alonso go through? Yes, Alonso, Yano Trulli, and possibly even Lewis Hamilton. But Lewis Hamilton, as you can see on the minimap, is quite far back. So I don't think he'll be challenging us anytime soon. Now on lap 5, I think the track is actually drying out a little bit by the looks of it. Well, there is still quite a bit of spray. The spray is quite extreme on this game, and we are holding up quite a train here. But I think actually a couple of cars are pitted, because as you can see, Lewis Hamilton has now moved up into 2nd. So in fact, Hamilton did overtake us in the end. So I'm not really too sure what happens. Let's just see. Running wide once again. So clearly the braking in this car on this game is just really, really difficult, and you know, just proving once again how challenging it can be on this game in the wet conditions. So really, really struggling. You can see both BMW Saubers battling behind Robert Kubica and Nick Heidfeld, but Heikki Kovalainen making his way through. So again, it's been a very crazy start to this Grand Prix, although I can admit that it is actually starting to, in fact, no, he ran wide again, as I was saying. It is looking like it's going to be dry very soon, but I think that's, you know, what Benny really needs. In fact, no, what's happening behind? Is that Mark Webber without a front wing? I completely missed that. Mark Webber without a front wing behind. So our teammate has lost his front wing somewhere, or am I just going absolutely crazy? I have no idea. This has been such an immense race, so I think the fact that I don't really know what's going on. Oh my goodness me, what is going on? Okay, Benny's just crashed straight into the wall. I literally cannot keep up with the action whatsoever, but I think, you know, that sort of adds to the excitement really. But let's see whether Red Bull can do a good pit stop. Give us a good pit stop. Come on, guys, please. 11.8 seconds, absolutely shocking, as per usual, on this game. We've emerged out in last position, although a couple of the other cars are pitted. Mark Webber, our teammate, is behind in 15th, only 6 tenths behind Fernando Alonso ahead. In fact, Webber with a dive bomb there. A Matt Tucson dive bomb. Hamilton fan 705-esque there. My goodness me, Mark Webber really not messing about and completely dive bombing Benny and hitting his side. But I'm sure Christian Horner, Helmut Marko will have something to say after the race about that manoeuvre. But anyway, the rain actually does seem to be picking up again, so I don't think we will get to the dry tyres as we are now approaching, or that we are basically now halfway through this race. But in fact, there seems to be a Renault actually going very slow in front. Fernando Alonso, we've actually closed him down by quite some margin, because remember, going into sector 2, he was only 3 seconds ahead, so maybe Alonso has some sort of issue, because he was running quite well earlier on, so I'm not really too sure about that. But can Benny take advantage of Alonso's going slowly and overtake Webber and Fernando Alonso? Yes, he does. He's re-overtaking his teammate, but will he run right this corner? Yes, he has. Oh, actually, no, he doesn't. Very good control there from Benny right at the last minute. It actually does seem as if Alonso has lost his front wing. No idea how. Absolutely crazy in this race so far, but now it just looks like as if Giancarlo Fisichella, where has he come from? So, oh no, Fisichella's crashed into turn 1. So that's where the AI seems to be making mistakes. Like Benny, the AI are just outbreaking themselves all around the track and, you know, losing their front wings and just making so many mistakes and affecting their race, because Fisichella, they just come out of absolutely nowhere. So Fisichella, up until that point, you know, sort of kept out of all the action and sort of, you know, secretly made his way up through the field. In fact, we've actually hit Fisichella there. Obviously, he has no front wing, so he really shouldn't be giving us too much of a fight. But now Nico Rosberg, 6.4 seconds behind. I have no idea what happened to Mark Webber. I literally cannot keep up with this race whatsoever. This has been absolutely crazy so far. But onto lap 9 now, we are making our second stop of the day onto another set of wet tyres by the looks of it. But are we going to be held up? Oh my goodness me, yes we are. And it actually looked like it was a Ferrari though without a front wing. That was, I'm not really too sure. But once again, actually into the pits again. So what's this about? Is this because we put on the wrong tyres? Oh no, it's a stop-go penalty. I didn't even realise that, so we did have to serve a stop-go penalty. I can only assume that was for speeding or the contact with Giancarlo Fisichella. So you've just got to wait and see here. So now by the looks of it, we do have Nick Heidfeld ahead. Obviously Heidfeld, who we overtook right at the last in the Hungarian Grand Prix. We have him to conquer once again. Are we going to dispatch him going down into this next corner? Yes, we are just about. We might force him out wide ever so slightly. Can Heidfeld get the traction out of the corner? No, he can't. And we are now up into 9th position, just one position away from points. So Fernando Alonso somehow is in 8th at the moment. I think Alonso actually lost his front wing earlier on, so I have no idea what's happening with all the AI and how they've managed to get into these positions. We are now into the penultimate lap now, and we are actually up into, oh no, we're not up into 8th position because Nick Heidfeld has overtaken us, just got so much better, grip and speed out of the corner and completely just breezed past us. So that was really shocking. No! We've lost our front wing on the final lap of the Grand Prix, 10th place. It didn't look as if we were going to score points anyway, but that has completely ruined this race. It's been an absolutely crazy, action-packed Grand Prix today. Absolutely mental race we have seen today at the Valencia street circuit. Just cars going off everywhere, losing front wings, left, right, centre. I wouldn't be surprised if we see quite a shock at the front, because obviously Mark Webber actually went off, obviously, on the first lap. In fact, that is Webber there. Mark Webber's overtaken us. That's a huge bummer there for Benny and the Red Bull team, or Benny side of the garage at Red Bull, because now Mark Webber's overtaken him up into 10th place, and we are really, really struggling here. And we could actually see ourselves losing another position to the Brazilian of Felipe Massa. We're going to have to wait and see. In fact, yes, he's tucked in just behind us now, and it's just impossible here with the understeer in the wet condition. The Felipe Massa has gone through, and could we even lose a third position to Sebastian Buemi? But as I was saying, guys, it's going to be very interesting to see who has actually won this Grand Prix. So obviously this race has been absolutely mental. So much has gone on, just in terms of crashes, action, overtaking, front ring losses, everything like that. It'll just be interesting to see who's actually won this Grand Prix and who's actually sort of stayed out, who's sort of had a quiet race and sort of stayed out of all the action. Just going to have to wait and see. So let's see. Sebastian Buemi is now behind us. Let's see if we can try and maintain the position to these guys. It's going to be very tough, obviously, going to the last corner. One of the trickiest corners on the track. I think Benny's going to have to brake incredibly early here. In fact, no, he turns straight into the wall. Can he brake early? No, he cannot. And I think it's actually lost further 4 positions here. That's 4 cars going through. That is, in fact, Jarno Trulli, Heikki Kovalainen, and I believe it was also, not really too sure who else it was. We're going to have to wait and see, but it's, once again, another very disappointing result here at the European Grand Prix. In fact, it was Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton winning the European Grand Prix from Rubens Barrichello. Sebastian Bourdais in 4th, and Giancarlo Fisichella and Adrian Sutil getting points for Force India. Just, wow, what an absolutely crazy race we've experienced today, guys. If you did enjoy this video, obviously be sure to like it. It's my absolute pleasure to be doing this commentary today. A very exciting race to do this for, actually, as well. So, yeah, by the looks of it, it seems as if Massa, who I think that means he's our rival, actually, Felipe Massa in 16th, but Nakajima actually did DNF. So now in the Drivers' Championship, we are still leading 82 points. We still have a 32-point gap, but obviously the last 2 races, we have failed to score points. So we're really going to have to pick up some form soon, otherwise Barrichello will capitalise and may even overtake us at, for the championship. But now we are 12 points ahead of Brawn GP and the constructors as well, so that's going quite merrily at the moment. But once again, we have to really pick ourselves up for the next Grand Prix in Belgium and Monza and the future races to round off the season. But anyway, guys, if you have enjoyed today's video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe for you to the channel, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.